Hello and welcome to Josh D Boxing. Please like, share and subscribe. Tyson Fury has apparently retired from the sport. Yesterday he put out a video and it said this at lunchtime. He said, "Hi everybody, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I'd like to announce my retirement from boxing. It's been a blast. I've loved every single minute of it. I'm going to end with this." He said, Dick Turpin wore a mask. I'll say it again, Dick Turpin wore a mask. God bless everybody. See you on the other side. That is so typical Tyson Fury. For those who don't know who Dick Turpin is, Dick Turpin was a robber in the 1700s. He used to steal from stagecoaches. Stagecoaches are what we'll call like cars today. So apparently he's retired from the sport. This is the end of Tyson Fury. This is the end of an era. This is the end of the Tyson Fury era in that sense, and there's been a lot of talk in the media on X and stuff like that. Has he really retired? Are we going to take it at face value, or is it one of those things where we think, do you know what, boy cries wolf? Because we've heard about him retiring and coming back, and there was a really interesting Daily Mail article actually that came out. I believe it was yesterday evening, and it talked about the different times he's retired. Guys, he's actually announced his retirement 5 times in the past, including this one now. So this is the 5th time. Once in 2013 during the Hay build-up. There was once after the Klitschko fight. That was a great fight. But after that fight, he announced his retirement. He also announced his retirement in 2022 twice. Once in April after the Dillian Whyte fight, and then he announced it again in August. And then that's 4 times, and now he's announced it again. So I guess, has he retired? Has he not retired? Is it one of those things that Tyson Fury says, like, I'm going to retire, but he's taking a long break, or he's taking a break for that matter? Who knows? I guess there's 2 ways we can look at it, right? We think to ourselves, after the Usyk fight, apart from yesterday's announcement, Fury hasn't said anything. He's been pretty quiet. I guess it's that moment where he's trying to distill everything that's happened, especially after that second fight, because he put in a lot of work in that second fight. All the kind of rumours and all the comments that were coming out of the camp was that he was on his A game and he was totally focused. So to lose a fight in that way, it would definitely have had an effect on him. So maybe the fight is gone. Maybe it's a case where he just feels, do you know what? I've put in so much work, so much effort, and it's not worked out. Do you know what? I've earned a wad load of cash, and he's earned a lot of money. A lot of money, guys. So it might just be that the fire's not there. And if it's a case that the fire's not there, to be honest with you, so be it. Like, there's no point of getting into the ring if the fire's not there anymore. Like, as some people say, get in, get rich, get out. And I totally agree with that statement. Like, it's not about being in the ring when the fire's not there and you could end up with more damage. Like, the boxing game is very dangerous, and you don't want to be in there when you're not willing to give it your all and you haven't got that fire inside you. So I get it. The other thing as well is that, like, if you think about it, he might be thinking to himself, I'm going to leave. Who else can I face, technically speaking? Like, what big fight is there? I've had the 2 biggest fights. The AJ fight in and of itself is not for a title. It's just who's the best in the Well, I wouldn't even say who's the best in the UK. It's just who's better between me and AJ, because some may argue that Dubois is the best in the UK right now. I mean, he's got the IBF title, right? So it's who's better between me and AJ. And maybe he's not interested in that. Like, maybe he just doesn't have the drive for that. He just wants to call it a day, spend time with his family, and just move on to something different. However, in my opinion, I think that it's something that he says, and I think, guys, watch the space. It wouldn't surprise me if Tyson Fury decides, you know what, I'm going to come back. Maybe it's a case that he's bored of being retired after a few months and thinks to himself, I want to come back. Let's just face AJ. Let's face AJ. Let's have a big fight at Wembley. Because maybe the fire has come back, or maybe he's been able to kind of distill what happened after the Usyk fight. If you think about it, it could also be from a business standpoint as well. And this is someone mentioned this, actually, to be fair. I forgot who it was. might have been Eddie Hearn yesterday at the presser. Guys, the February card is absolutely amazing, by the way. The presser was yesterday. And Eddie was saying, well, if I was Fury, I'll be doing this too, because what you're doing is that ultimately, I think what he's alluding to is, you say you retired, right? Turkey comes and says, look, I want you to face AJ. It's one of the 5 fights I want this year anyway. And what would happen is that Turkey would have to pay him like an absolute ton of cash for him to come back and face AJ. So he could be doing it from a business standpoint. And we've seen, it's not the first time someone's done it. We've seen it before. So it's not one of those ones where we think to ourselves, this is kind of like a new idea. It's kind of, look, we've seen it and it's worked in the past. And maybe Fury's using that tactic to think to himself, okay, cool, this is the way I'm going to earn the most amount of money for what could be my final fight. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Could be for clout chasing as well, to be honest with you. I was thinking about it the other day, or yesterday I should say. If you think about it, right? Tyson Fury says he's going to retire. It gets us talking. It gets me talking. It gets you talking. It gets the media talking. Everyone's talking about Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury, Tyson Fury. It keeps his name on our lips, right? So maybe it's just one of those tactics to keep people talking about him by doing stuff like that. I think the young people say clout chasing. So it could be one of those things. Who knows? Who knows? But in my opinion, I think to myself, do you know what? He said that he's going to retire and he's come back. He said he's going to retire and come back. This is like the 5th time. So it's one of those things where I think he'll come back. But if he doesn't, let's just take that part in a moment. Let's just take face value. Let's say he decides to himself, do you know what? I'm going to call it a day. Do you know what? Good on him. Good on him. He's had a good career. 2-time heavyweight champion. In my opinion, one of the most significant fights in modern history. Beating Klitschko. And now the boxing game changes from the hold of Klitschko having those belts in Germany. And boxing was quite dead, to be honest with you, at that time. Following that fight with Klitschko, like boxing started to become alive again. So I totally kind of give him his praises for that. The Wilder fights as well. I mean, guys, remember that the Wilder fights. In my opinion, I think he won all 3 of them. Obviously, the first one was a draw, but those battles, they were something that will be etched in history for a very, very long time. So I have to say, if he's retired, like I give him praises for that. There are some that think, and I kind of understand where they're coming from. He could have done a lot more, especially after the Klitschko win. That period there when he was out, that could have been a time when Fury could have cemented his legacy so much more, I think. But if it is that, it is that. However, I think, guys, I think we're going to see him again. I think it's the boy who cried wolf. Maybe I'm being apathetic to it, but I think it's the boy who cried wolf. I think we're going to see the AJ fight this year. I think he's going to come back. He's going to get a ton of cash. He's going to get what he wants. He's got us talking about it anyway. It could just be mind games and, you know, he's back. But anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think Fury is going to retire and stay retired? Do you think he's going to come back? What do you think now happens with the AJ fight? Do you think that's going to happen? Do you think it's not going to happen? Anyway, guys, great being on here. Peace.